Antone Sewell here, defensive coordinator at Bowie State University. Today we're going to talk about personnel alignments and our dog side 4-2-5 defense. So from a personnel standpoint, our defense is a 4-2-5 personnel defense, all right, which means we play with 4 true defensive linemen, 2 inside linebackers, and then 5 defensive backs, one of which is a hybrid, outside linebacker, strong safety. Our defensive system is heavily based on the ability of our players. Again, we try to be versatile within our personnel. However, we do have a profile for certain positions. All right, so our defense is predicated on our guys being able to do multiple things at their position. All right, we understand that offenses are going to try to attack us in certain places, so we value guys that have the ability to be able to be every down defenders. All right, versus us having to necessarily sub different guys in for different situations. We want to make sure that our guys can play in any situation, because in today's game of football, it's no longer, hey, run, pass in terms of first, second, third downs. You have some teams that'll run in passing situations. You have some teams that'll throw that'll pass and run in situations. So we want to make sure our guys have the ability to be able to defend anything a team throws at us on any particular down or distance. All right. So from a profile standpoint, our Mike and Will are similar body types. However, our Sam linebacker is more of a hybrid linebacker, strong safety body type. All right. So when we talk about personnel, starting off up front, all right, our strong end is more of a force in the run game, whereas our weak side end, which we refer to as the dog, is the better pass rusher of the two. All right, so our dog is probably going to be a lighter guy, all right, more of a speed rush type of defensive end, whereas though our strong end is more of a guy that's, who's really good at setting the edge, who can eat that double team, when he's playing to the side of the tight end as well. All right. Now, on the back end, we expect our rover and our free safety to be interchangeable parts. All right. So when we start talking about our scheme, all right, we don't say rover or free has this or that. We talk more so about, hey, the weak side safety's job is this. The strong side safety's job is this. So when we teaching the defense to those guys, we emphasize to those guys, hey, learn both positions and understand within the defense what side you're on. If you're to the open side, this is your job. If you're to the closed side, this is your job. What we don't want is when teams are trading the tight end or the strength change, we don't want our guys flip-flopping in the middle of the play. All right, or pre-snap rather. All right, alignment. All right, our base front is an over front. All right, for us, an over front is going to be 7 to the strong side, 3 to the strong 3, weak side shade, and then weak side 5. All right, so we line our strong into the 7 technique. All right, this allows us to keep our Sam linebacker, who's now in the 90 technique, in the run fit, but not truly inside the tackle box. All right, this seems like something minor, but this was a very, very big selling point for us when recruiting kids to play this position, and we made this transition from a 4-3 to a 4-2-5, because now mentally those guys are lined up outside the tight end, all right, almost in the same alignment they would be if they had man-to-man coverage on the tight end. So now to them, they're still defensive backs. All right, and again, the mentality of getting those guys to buy into, hey, yes, you're in the box. However, you don't necessarily have to take on tackles and guards within the run fit. Everything you're doing is fitting off of that tight end, all right, or wing or sniffer, whatever you want to call that guy. All right. Now, the strong end and the Sam always travel to the same side. So our Sam linebacker is always going to be to the strong side. So he'll know who our defensive end is. So he knows when he comes out, he needs to find that guy, identify the strength of the offensive formation, and that's where he aligns. All right. The weak end and the will linebacker always travel together. All right. So the will linebacker knows, hey, if he finds himself lined up behind the strong side end, he knows he's misaligned. However, if he does find himself there, he knows now he has to play the Sam linebacker position, so he has to know his responsibilities within the defense. All right, and this is obviously if we're in too high if we're in a single high defensive alignment, our Sam and Rover always align opposite of one another unless we're in cover, unless we're playing cover one and there's 3 receivers to that side, because now the Rover will come over to address that number 3 or number 2 receiver. All right, so this is what our over front looks like. All right, this is what our over front looks like versus a 2-by-1 set. All right, we call this twin split. Some people call it twins open. All right, so again, now our end, all right, let's see if I can get this pointer. Our end goes to a 5 because there's no tight end. The tackle was in a strong 3. The nose is in a weak shade. And the dog is in a weak 5. All right, our Sam, who would normally be in a 90, is now going to apex, all right, because of the detached number 2. All right, the Mike is in a 10, and the Will is in a weak side 30. All right, we align our guys in their gaps. All right, we align our guys in their gaps. Sometimes based on formation, a guy may have to come out of his gap. All right, or one of our backers may make a plus or minus call, which basically means either they're widening out to the weak side with a minus call, or widening out to the plus side to the strong side with a plus call. However, they understand that they're still responsible for reading their key and ultimately responsible for making any play within their particular gap in the defense. All right, we do have we do have the ability, all right, to do some things with our front, all right, to do some things within our front, all right, and if you refer back to the defensive line fundamentals section, all right, we'll talk about some, I'm going to cover some of our stunts up front, our single man stunts and gap exchange and gap of responsibilities and those kind of things, all right. From an alignment standpoint, our corners are always going to align based on their divider rules. So what I gave you here is an example of, let's say if this guy is outside, if the Z is outside of the divider, all right, that corner line up inside. If the X is inside the divider, that corner will line up outside. And our safeties are always going to be 10 to 12 yards. Ball is in the middle of the field, they're going to be on the hash marks. If the ball is on the hash, that near side safety would align no more than 2 yards inside or outside the hash. Same thing with the backside safety. All right, those guys will never line up more than 2 yards outside of the hash. All right, so pre-snap, all right, here's a glimpse of what it'll look like. Now you'll see, so we've got our strong side 5, strong side 3, weak side shade, weak side 5. All right, the Mike and Will line up in their gaps. Our Sam here is apex with the detached number 2. As you can see, the safety behind him. All right, excuse me. As you can see, the safety behind him, it's a little hard to see with the laser. Safety behind him is lined up 10 yards off the ball. He's inside of number 2. All right, that corner up top. The Z is inside the numbers, so he's going to take an outside alignment. Down here, the X is outside the numbers, so this corner now takes an inside alignment. All right, our safety, because his number 2 is in the backfield, he has the freedom in this 2-back set to creep down just a few yards behind linebacker depth. All right, because this is his read in the pass, and he wants to get involved in the run game quickly. All right, so you can see it from here. All right, you got Mike in the 10, Will in the 30. Again, our 5 technique lines up a little wider because we have a 3 technique to his side. All right, so we don't need him hugging that tackle when we have the 3 technique there. All right, weak side shade, weak side 5. All right, so again, when we go to our single high look, we still keep our 5-3 shade 5. Sam is apexing, Mike is in the 10, Will is in the 30. Now our rover's going to walk down. He's going to be 3 yards outside and 5 yards back, all right, even with those linebackers to the weak side. All right, if he were to have a detached number 2, he would now apex as well, similar to the Sam linebacker. All right, and here's a picture of what that looks like. All right, so you have your 5. All right, and this let's see, we may be in we're in the over front. Okay, so you have a 5-3 shade 5. All right, you got your Mike and Will. Both of those guys are going to always stay in the box. All right, anytime we're in a single high. All right, and now the Sam is lined up right outside of this tight end or sniffer here. All right, and now your Rover is to the weak side apex inside of number 2. All right, again, from a divider standpoint, this guy's outside divider, that corner's inside leverage. That guy's right on the divider. All right, but because we're probably in the 3 deep, this guy's going to play inside leverage so that he can now split 1 and 2 down the seam. All right. And those are our 2 basic alignments. All right, so again, because we're 4-2-5 personnel defense, it gives us the flexibility. And again, as you can see, even with the tight end sniffer in the game, that guy's not going to be inside that box. All right, we're going to still keep him outside, but he's in the fit.